Muhammad Inuaya has approved over 2 billion naira alongside counterpart funding to address potential complaints from beneficiaries of the Akosa project in Gombe State. Worshippers at Ekwaba Italami Tufo has been urged to remain patient and humble in all their dealings to enjoy God's goodness. President Tinubu signs new executive order on oil and gas revenue. Good evening, viewers. Welcome to 25 News. My name is Anna Chapel Caps with the details of the news. Gombe State Governor Muhammad Inuaya on Saturday participated in the Local Government Area Congress of the All Progressive Congress held in Gombe. Speaking at the Gombe Local Government Area Congress held at ED Primary School, the governor reaffirms his total commitment to support for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, declaring the APC remains and focused on delivering good governance to Nigerians. Governor Inuaya expressed confidence that, based on what he described as the party's strong performance and growing grassroots support, the APC is well positioned for decisive victory in the 2027 general elections at all levels. He commended party faithful and stakeholders for their discipline to strengthen the party across the state, noting that the peaceful conduct of the APC. The governor added that the ongoing Congress will further structure, deepen internal democracy, and strategically position it for greater electoral success. He assured members that APC-led administrations at both state and federal levels will continuously implement people-oriented policies aimed at improving the welfare and living standard of citizens, urging supporters to remain steadfast. In his remarks, Chairman of the State Local Government Area and World Congresses Committee in Gombe State, Dr. Njuma Dabo, said the party adopted a consensus arrangement for the exercise after wide consultations with stakeholders to promote unity and stability. Dr. Dabo described the Congress as peaceful, orderly, and transparent, adding that the process complies strictly with the party's guidelines. He commended party leaders and members for their cooperation, which he said ensures the success of the exercise. Also speaking, the supervisor of the Congress in Gombe Local Government Area, Honorable Adro Omar, confirmed that all laid-down procedures were followed, leading to the emergencies of new party officials through consensus. The Congress was attended by the party elders, leaders, and members from the 11 wards of Gombe Local Government Area, while similar exercises were conducted simultaneously across other local government areas of the state. Governor Muhammad Inuaya of Gombe State has approved the sum of over 2 billion naira, in addition to the counterpart funding, to address any complaints that arise from the prospective beneficiaries of the Akresa project in the state. The state project coordinator of Akresa, Dr. Sani Adonijero, disclosed this while responding to questions from journalists at the venue of an ongoing stakeholders training on the grievance readiness mechanism in Bauchi. He explained that the fund would be judiciously used to resolve any genuine grievances recorded in the course of project implementation. Dr. Jaro cited the Oman project as an example, noting that when work commenced, about 600 complaints were received from residents living around the project site. However, after a thorough review, only 17 of the complaints were found to be genuine and were promptly addressed without delay. He described Governor Muhammad Inuaya as a supportive and people-oriented leader who is always willing to back initiatives that bring relief and development to the citizens. He therefore called on residents to respect, support, and cooperate with the government to ensure the successful delivery of the project. In her remarks, the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Asma Muhammad Igabus, said the beyond safeguarding lives and property, the Guli Erosion Control Project, executed under across has significantly reduced cases of infant abandonment linked to unwanted pregnancy in affected street areas. She commended the governor for his foresight and commitment in providing the necessary funds to sustain the project. Speaking on the training, Commissioner noted that it was timely and would equip participants with the required skills and mechanism to effectively resolve disputes arising from project activities. She urged participants to pay close attention and against to their respective communities for the benefits of the state. A chieftain of People Democratic Party, Dr. Nasir Ibrahim, who is also the Judiman Ajiyangumbe, has organized a major Ramadan outreach by distributing 500 bags of rice and 7 million naira cash to residents of Gombe local government areas. The atmosphere was festive and the residents of Judiman Ajiyangumbe, Dr. Nasir Ibrahim, located behind the Old Bauchi Park on White Hill Line, drew a large turnout of party leaders and supporters from across the state. Key PDP stakeholders from the zonal level and the local government areas of Gombe, Kwame and Funakaye were present to witness the distribution.
Na executive na state duk wanda ya gayyace mu in dan PDP ne kama daga ward daga unit har zuwa state inda yi irin wannan abu na alheri a kullum zamu zo kuma zamu mara masa mu kowa namu ne alheri kuma danko ne mun ji daɗi da wannan bawan Allah ya shirya wannan abu a lokacin da kuma mutane suke cikin wahala lokacin da mutane suke bukata.
Speaking at the event, the Ajiyangumbe emphasized that his primary goal is to provide relief to the less privileged during this sacred period.
Ba wani abu bane illa mu dan ba da tallafi na shinkafa kamar yadda kuke gani.
Youth and women groups turned out in large numbers, chanting songs of praise to the Judima. Many beneficiaries expressed their gratitude, offering prayers for his continued success. Worshippers at Ekwa Baitalami Tumfri has been urged to remain patient and humble in all their dealings in order to enjoy the goodness of God. Delivering a sermon on the Ekwa theme for the year, Keep Your Lamps Burning, guest speaker Elder Kanadi Hassan told the congregation that impatience breeds negative tendencies capable of hindering spiritual growth. He stressed the need for believers to remain faithful and patient in every situation to witness the glory of God. Similarly, champion World Tumfri, guest speaker Mrs. Patience Bulus said God delights in those who acknowledge him as the sole provider of their needs. Preaching on the topic, the wonders of praise, Mrs. Bulus explained that praising God brings restoration, healing, and divine direction. She called her worshippers to not God wholeheartedly, so his presence can dwell among them. In the same vein, the associate pastor of Federal Local John that could damage their relationship with God. Reverend John gave the warning during Sunday service, urging members to remain committed to the worship of God. Noting that dates can come unexpectedly, he reminded the congregation that death awaits every mortal and emphasized the need for spiritual preparedness. Meanwhile, Ekwa Gospel Ushelima Badagaza has concluded its week-long discipleship seminar with a call on members to intensify efforts in spreading. Speaking at the closing service, guest speaker Elder Ishaku Yu Babason said it is responsibility of every believer in the Christ to share his message with those who do not know him, so that many will not perish. He also emphasized the need for love and compassion among members as a reflection of God's image. The senior cleric of the Evangelical Church, Winning All, Equa Church, Investment Quarter, Free, Reverend John Negro, has called on Christians families to restore their family prayer altars as a pathway to peaceful living and attracting God's blessings. Reverend Negro made the call while delivering a sermon during Sunday worship at the church, where he stressed the need for unity, love, and sincerity between spouses to promote harmonious living. He noted that lack of prayer within the home, adding that such attitude hindered the presence of the Holy Spirit. Explained that the Equa 2016 keeping the life of prayer, studying God's word, and humility, describing prayer as a vital spiritual weapon every Christian must embrace. Reverend Negro lamented that what he described as a lukewarmness among some Christians in obeying godly injunctions, warning that families that abandon prayer lack a firm spiritual standing. He further expressed concern that some husbands, as head of their families, have neglected their responsibility to their wives, noting that such actions are dangerous to the spiritual well-being of the family, the church, and the society. The cleric also frowned at cases where some women view infidelity as means of pursuing material gains and urged them to return to God, whom he described as the giver of all things. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has taken a decisive step towards fiscal transparency by signing Executive Order 9. This directive mandates that all proceeds from the sale of crude oil and natural gas by the NNPCL and other agencies must be remitted directly into the federal account without deductions. This ends the long-standing and controversial subsidy at source or cost recovery, deductions that often leaves the Federation's account depleted from before state governors could access their shares. The Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Ownership Association and economic analyst has described this as a game changer for Nigeria's economy. By centralizing this fund, the federal government aims to curb systematic corruptions and provide a clear picture of Nigeria's daily earnings. This move is expected to increase the monthly allowance allocations available to state and local government, potentially boosting infrastructure development across the state if managed prudently. To end the news report, here is a recap of headlines. You heard that Governor Muhammad Inuaya has approved over 2 billion naira alongside counterpart funding to address potential complaints from beneficiaries of the Akresa project in Gombe State. The State Project Coordinator of Akresa, Dr. Sani Adamujoro, disclosed this while responding to questions from journalists at the venue of an ongoing stakeholders training on the grievance redress mechanism in Bauchi. We also brought to you news worshippers at Equa by Talani Tufre have been urged to remain patient and humble in all their dealings to enjoy God's goodness. Delivering a sermon on the Equa theme for the year, Keep Your Lamps Burning, guest speaker Elder Kanadi Hassan told the congregation that impatience breeds negative tendencies capable of hindering spiritual growth. He stressed the need for believers to remain faithful and patient in every situation to witness the glory of God. And finally, President Tinubu signs new executive order on oil and gas revenue. The Petroleum Product Retail Outlet Owners Association and economic analysts have described this as a game changer for Nigeria's economy. By centralizing this fund, the federal government aims to curb systematic corruption and provide a clearer picture of Nigerians' daily earnings. This move is expected to increase the monthly allocation available to state and local government, potentially boosting infrastructure development across the state if managed prudently. That's the news. Thanks for staying with us.